Hello, Battledome Baddies! Welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be going over the Faeries. However, there are some notes that I want to clarify about some previous things that I've said that are not exactly correct. So the first one, for Flaming Hot Dog from the Starter Deck Exclusives video, it does not unfreeze your Neopet, and you would need to play it in response to the freeze effect being put on the stack to prevent the freeze. As of right now, there is no way to break the frozen effect on your Neopet. On the same note, for Cow Defender and Mammoth, the cards that say you can make an additional attack this turn, you do not get to attack once if your Neopet has been frozen. When either of these are played, if you are frozen, you will skip both of your attacks. So it would essentially be a waste of a turn by playing either of those while you are frozen. However, if you play either of these while you are frozen, you will still, while frozen, you still get to trigger any during your battle phase effects. If you are not frozen, you do not trigger during your battle phase effects twice. However, you would get whatever bonuses you would normally get for the one attack for both of these attacks. And for example, if you had the Sturdy Blue Sword, which gives you +2 attack, you would get +2 attack to both of these attacks. Likewise, if you use the Send to Discard effect from Jadora's Cursed Sword to get +4 attack for the first attack, you would also get that +4 bonus to attack on the second attack. Alright, now onto the Faeries. So, how good are they on turn 1, turn 4, turn 8? They are rule-breaking effects, they're very, very powerful cards, and they usually work best in the archetypes that are associated with them. For example, Aethia's The Battle Fairy is best in a deck that uses Battle Fairy equipment. Just some additional card notes for Fairies. If a Fairy would leave the Battledome for any reason, it is sent to the Void. So if in the future they print a card that says return target card to its owner's inventory, then if they target a fairy, instead of going to the inventory, it would go to the owner's void. Likewise, the deck building restriction on fairies is you can have up to 1 copy of each fairy. So eventually, if there are 30 fairies, you can have 30 fairies that are all unique in your deck. What else is there? Fairies do not have a level requirement, so you can play them on the turn, on the very start turn. If you do not have a Codestone in your hand to train your pet, you can still play a fairy, which is very, very strong. So I think that's all the notes for the fairies, so let's start. We got Aethia, the Battle Fairy. Text says, once per turn during your draw phase, you may search your deck for an equipment and add it to the top of your deck. Your Neopet can hold an additional equipment. So some card notes, this is a May phase, so you do not have to use it if you do not want to. For example, if you need to get a Codestone on your next turn's draw, or on this turn's draw, you can elect not to use this effect and tutor for a equipment to add to the top of your deck. Since you are searching your deck, you will have to show the equipment to your opponent just to verify that it is an equipment that you got, because it does specify the card type. And then after you search your deck, you will have to shuffle your deck after, and technically, I guess the best way to do that would be to put the equipment you just got aside, shuffle your deck, and then put the equipment on top of your deck. You can use this effect before you draw the equipment that you just searched for, or after you draw for the draw phase. So if you want to draw the equipment for next turn, or if you want to have it on top of your deck for example, Blade of the Battle Fairy, where it cares about revealing the top card of your deck and having it be an equipment to get a bonus. And this is a 4th equipment slot for your Neopet, which is very, very strong sometimes, depending on what kind of equipment you got in your deck. So, 5 out of 5 stars for Aethia. Next up, we got Jadora. Card tag says, when this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play this card. You may play cards from your discard as if they were in your inventory. Cards played this way are sent to the void when they leave the Battledome. So, what card notes do we have for Jadora? You do not ignore the 1 card per turn rule if you are playing from the card from your discard. So, it does not technically give you card advantage in that way. However, being able to recur cards, as in reuse them, after you've already had them go to the discard, is a very, very, very strong effect. Equipment or cards that stay in the Battledome, for example, Punchbag Bob, they will need to be voided once the round ends or if they are discarded from play, so you'll somehow need to keep track of this. And if you, reusing cards recurring is very, very good. Also comes in an XR version as well, which means it is a secret rare. And that is shown off here. It's a alternate borderless full art fancy textured foil. Very, very cool. Jadora, 5 out of 5 stars. Very, very strong. Next up, we have Marina. When you play a potion that requires a dice roll, all results are treated as a success. So this makes potions actually very good for one round, unfortunately. If a potion has multiple dice rolled, all rolls are successes and not just one. So she's a little bit more restrictive in my opinion, because if you are playing Marina in your deck, you will probably want to have at least 4 potions, most likely 10 plus, just so you can draw some while you have the Marina out. 5 out of 5 stars, very good effect. Next up we have Naya. Card text says, when you play this card, you may search your deck for a paintbrush and play it, or add it to your inventory. Your Rainbow Pool Neopets gain 1 attack, 1 defense, and 1 agility. If your Neopet was painted with a rainbow paintbrush, they gain an additional 1 attack, 1 defense, and 1 agility. So, Naya, very, very strong card. When you play it, you get a trigger that goes on the stack, and it says you may tutor for a paintbrush and play it, or add it to your inventory if you do not want to play it on your Neopet right now. So, very, very, very strong turn 1. If you play Naya on turn 1 and you tutor out a rainbow paintbrush, you may play the rainbow paintbrush, so your rainbow painted Neopet gets +2 attack, defense, and agility, in addition to the bonuses that you get from the actual rainbow Neopet card itself. Every other color of painted Neopet will get +1 bonus to attack, defense, and agility from this, which in itself is also very, very, very strong. This is most likely the card to be banned first. That is what Battledome Bob was talking about in one of the live streams, but if they do ban a card, it's probably going to be Naya. It's a very, very strong effect. That is to say, hopefully they do not actually have to ban cards, because banning cards is always a feel-good. There is a convention promo alternate art to this card as well, which you can see here. And it is a 5 out of 5 stars for sure for Naya, the Rainbow Pool Fairy. Next up we have Queen Fiora. When this card is revealed from your deck, you may play this card. Once per turn, when you reveal 1 or more cards from your deck, you may play one of the revealed cards. So this breaks the rule of the game by letting you play an additional card per turn, which is very, very, very strong in a game which restricts you to 1 card per turn. And this phrasing has been future-proofed for cards that affect how many cards you reveal. As you may notice, it says when you reveal 1 or more cards from your deck, you may play one of those cards. In addition to that, it is a May effect, so you do not actually have to use Queen Fiora. Additionally, that being said, it is a once per turn effect for her trigger, so if you have 3 different Battledome equipment out, or 3 different Battle Fairy equipment in the Battledome, and you have Queen Fiora out, you can choose one of the triggers that you would wish to actually play the card from with Queen Fiora, or if you do not want to use her effect at all, you can elect not to do that as well. So she is most likely going to be played in the deck that runs Athia as well, because Queen Fiora and Athia's effect both are affected by the Battle Fairy equipment very, very strongly. There's a lot of synergy there, and Queen Fiora also comes in a fancy borderless showcase. Well, not technically showcase, it's a magic term. Alternate art borderless textured foil, which is seen here, which is also an XR, which is a secret rare card. Secret rares are about 1 per case of 12 booster boxes, so good luck trying to get one of these fairies. 5 out of 5 stars, very strong. And last up, for the Defenders of Neopia set, we have the Super Fairy. Once per turn during your draw phase or preparation phase, if you have 6 or less cards in your inventory, you may draw 1 card from your deck. So, what do we got here? This is a May effect. You don't have to draw if you don't want to. 6 cards in hand and draw another. That's essentially what this says, which is very cool. So you can use the Super Fairies effect before you draw the card for your turn. You can use it after you draw for your turn. You can use it before you play a card for your turn during the preparation phase, or you can use it after you play a card for a turn during the preparation phase. There are so many chances to get to 6 cards or fewer to draw another card from the Super Fairy, and drawing additional cards is very, very strong, so 5 stars. So, every single fairy got 5 out of 5 stars, and here is my own personal fairy tier list. So S+, we have Super Fairy. In my opinion, she has the probably strongest effect overall. Just being able to generically go in any deck, and drawing cards is always going to be good in pretty much any deck. The only time that you will not want to draw cards is if you are going for a more controlling strategy. But as of right now, playing 1 card per turn that's probably going to be every single player. So yeah, you're probably going to have 6 or fewer cards quite often. Below S+ tier, we have S tier, which is Jadora and Queen Fiora. Jadora I have above Queen Fiora because, just like the Super Fairy, she is generically good. She does work extremely well in decks that will have a lot more graveyard synergies and recursion plans overall, but if you just have Jadora in any deck, her effect can be used. You can replay cards from your inventory. So it is a very strong effect. And then also in the S tier, we have Queen Fiora, and also generically pretty good card, as there are a lot of good cards that involve revealing cards from your deck, and she will allow you to play additional cards when you reveal cards, as long as you meet the level requirement of being able to play the card. Below that, we have the A tier with Aethia, the Battle Fairy, and Naya, the Rainbow Fountain Fairy. Both are generically good. I probably actually would put Naya above Aethia, just because the tutor effect is very strong. You can have a single copy of a paintbrush in your deck and play it out with Naya, or tutor it with Naya. I guess there's another note for Naya. If you have the paintbrush or the single paintbrush in your deck, if you're that crazy to only run 1 paintbrush, if you have the single paintbrush in your hand while you play Naya, you will not be able to play the paintbrush in your hand. You can search your deck, but it would be a failed to find, so you do not actually reveal anything to your opponent, or show anything to your opponent, because she is searching for a paintbrush. If you do find the paintbrush and add it to your inventory, you will have to show the card to your opponent to prove that it is a paintbrush, and then you will shuffle your deck after. And then all the way down at the C tier, we have Marina, because she only works with potions, but she is very good at what she does. However, if you're running her, you're going to be running a lot of potions, and potions are quite literally 50% of the time do nothing, which in a game of dice rolling to attack and deal damage, potentially deal damage, adding another 50% chance does technically cut it to like 25% chance of, hey, we're going to actually do something cool and fun and crazy. But yeah, she is very strong, so not quite a D, even though you're forced to run potions. So yeah, that is my own personal fairy tier list. I did strongly consider putting Jadora in the S+ tier, but I believe I want to have the Super Fairy above as the strongest, in my opinion, fairy so far. It'll be really cool to see how this changes up with future sets and future fairies, and what actual wacky effects they can have for breaking how the game works, because as of right now, that is technically what almost all the fairies do. They have some kind of effect that breaks the base rules of the game. Yeah, cool. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your own personal fairy tier list is. Alright, talk to you later.